You ever have one of those mornings where you're just standing in your own driveway, wearing nothing but pajamas and a mug of coffee, and suddenly you're public enemy number one? Yeah, he's blocking public property, arrest him immediately. That's what Cordelia shrieked, waving her cell at 3 bewildered deputies she'd summoned just for me. Didn't matter that it was my own driveway. Didn't matter I'd been here all of 6 months. She had the badge of the almighty HOA. And in her mind, that trumped everything. But what Cordelia Miss Platinum Blonde, HOA dictator of Meadowbrook Commons didn't know was, back inside my little home office, sat years of legal experience and enough engineering degrees to wallpaper her house twice over. She thought I was just another suburban dad she could steamroll. If you're watching this from your own HOA hellscape, go ahead, drop your state in the comments. Because what happened next is exactly why this woman made the biggest mistake of her life. So let me rewind a bit, tell you how one parking job turned into the most satisfying legal beatdown I've ever orchestrated. 6 months ago, I bought this in-unit townhome in a gated North Carolina paradise. That's what the brochure said. Anyway, lawns trimmed with military precision, flower beds that always looked one day from a magazine cover, and HOA fees that would make a New York landlord blush. The whole place reeked of artificial mulch and wet sprinkler hose. The buzz of suburban perfection humming day and night. My name's Garrett Wolfson, 44, mechanical engineer, Chicago transplant. But what no one in this zip code realized, especially Cordelia, was that I'd spent 8 years as a patent attorney before all this. I'd untangled million-dollar contracts and built a reputation for finding legal loopholes so fine you'd need a microscope just to see them. My recent divorce, 18 months of legal trench warfare, left me with a love for documentation and a burning need for peace. I thought Meadowbrook was my new start. Turns out, it was just a new battlefield. Enter Cordelia Blackstone, 52, chairwoman of the HOA Architectural Review Board, neighborhood autocrat, platinum bob that probably costs more than my Subaru. She lived on the corner lot, drove a pearl-white Lexus, and carried her leather portfolio like a sword. The kind of woman who measures fence heights at 6 a.m. with a laser level, who snaps violation photos before you've even poured your first coffee. Her perfume hit you like a warning flare before you even heard her heels on the walk. My crime? Parking my grocery-hauling Subaru in my own driveway. So the rear bumper hung a whopping 14 inches into the public easement. Not the street, just that sliver of curb where city code says your bumper's allowed to breathe. Cordelia swooped in like a hawk. That vehicle violates community aesthetic standards, she announced. It's my driveway, I told her. Dead calm. She flipped open her rulebook, section 14.7. Complete containment required. Except, here's the thing, I'd read those covenants cover to cover at closing. There is no section 14.7. But I just smiled and nodded, let her get comfortable on her power trip. 5 minutes later, she's got the sheriff's office on the horn, reporting me for blocking a public right-of-way. Static on the dispatch. 3 units en route. I'm still in pajamas. When the deputies showed up, 3 of them. Not when they looked around like someone had called in a bank robbery. Sergeant Rodriguez pulled out his iPad, checked the property lines, measured the easement. No violation of any parking ordinance. Ma'am. That's what he told her. Cordelia turned so purple I thought she might actually explode. But she leaned in as the officers were leaving and hissed just loud enough for me to hear. This is exactly what happens when they let people like you in here. You ever taste metal? Like anger and opportunity all at once. That was me. See, when someone shows you who they are, especially if they're letting a little bigotry slip, you believe him. And if you're smart, you start documenting. That night, I sat down at my laptop and started digging. Cordelia's first mistake was thinking paperwork would scare me off. Her second was moving fast. Next morning, certified mail lands on my porch. 18 pages of HOA violation citations, parking. Mailbox angle. Trash cans out too long. Even my grass was too green. Apparently. Photos from every angle. Like she was prepping for a trial. But those citations? All referenced that same phantom section 14.7. Then I saw the drone photos. Crystal clear shots from directly above my house. attached to the citation package. No permission, no warning. Back in Chicago, I'd seen lawsuits destroy people over less. Drone surveillance without consent? That's not just inadmissible, it's criminal. By lunchtime, I'd filed a municipal complaint with the city, citing state privacy statutes and FAA airspace regulations. By 4 p.m., Cordelia had a cease and desist on her desk. Her spy operation? Permanently grounded. But you know how dictators are: lose a battle. Double down on the war. Next morning, code enforcement knocks. Complaint: I'm running an unlicensed business, maintaining unpermitted structures. The inspector, Miguel, looks at my organized folders: permits, zoning docs, everything labeled. After 15 minutes, he tells me, "Sir, everything here is perfectly legal. This complaint is swell. Let's say retaliatory." He writes up a violation for her. But the fireworks really started when Cordelia called an emergency HOA meeting. 47-slide PowerPoint on my supposed offenses. Room full of neighbors. Board members shifting nervously in folding chairs. But as she scrolled through her evidence photos, forged signatures, fake petitions, I had just stood there with my manila folder. Original developer covenants. Parking grandfathered in 2020. 3 other houses with the same setup. My surveyor, Frank, even showed up with timeline docs. The room went silent. Board Chair Robert Chong finally asked, "Mrs. Blackstone, did you verify any of this?" Her confidence melted faster than a popsicle in July. Vote 4-1 against Cordelia. Formal censure for harassment. For the first time, you could feel neighbors breathe. Except Cordelia went full scorched earth. Started patrolling the block with measuring tape, targeting everyone who'd stood up to her. She even weaponized lawn maintenance, blowing leaves during my client calls. Citations for mailbox flags and garden hoses. 31 violations in 8 days. All signed on official HOA stationery. Except, it wasn't. That letterhead was unauthorized. That's document fraud. Plain and simple. And then came the twist: me neighbors started coming out of the woodwork. Security footage. Ring videos. Stories of Cordelia measuring fences while folks attended funerals. Dr. Martinez, Wilhelmina, even Romesh, who'd captured her at dawn. The community started talking in next door. In person. Even the 73-year-old widow down the street knocked on my door. My grandson works at the courthouse. Garrett, there's something wrong with Cordelia's finances. County liens. Federal inquiries. Missing money. That's when I dug deeper. 3 years of HOA financials. $21,000 unaccounted for. All maintenance contracts signed off by Cordelia. The same contractor. Blackstone Services LLC. Every time. Registered tow surpriser brother Devin in Arizona. No business license. No credentials. Just a family shell game. And every time someone asked about the money, Cordelia would start up a new harassment campaign. My parking. Martinez's fence. The Thompson kids' chalk art, just smoke to hide the real fire. It was classic. Money laundering. Wire fraud. The works. But the cherry on top? Cordelia and Devin's emails. Sister. The neighbors asking questions. Time to wrap up the Carolina gig. Her reply. One final score: major sinkhole emergency. $18,000 immediate approval. Then we disappear. She was planning another theft while terrorizing the whole street. That's when I got Agent Haven, my old friend at the FBI, involved. Evidence poured in: emails, bank records, forged invoices, wire transfers crossing state lines. By Thursday, the FBI and local police were ready. Cordelia, thinking she was about to score another $18,000 for phantom sinkhole repairs, strutted into the HOA board meeting in a rented Mercedes. Designer clothes. And that smug smile. 67 neighbors in the room. News cameras rolling. Her pitch was pure theater, fake geological surveys. PowerPoint full of Arizona desert photos passed off as local emergencies. Then Patricia Rodriguez, board member, asked the million-dollar question. "Mrs. Blackstone, why do these images show Arizona soil?" The silence was deafening. That's when the feds swept in. Cordelia Blackstone, You're under arrest for federal wire fraud, conspiracy, and embezzlement. The room erupted. She shrieked, blamed everyone but herself. Even as the cuffs clicked shut, her face cycled from shock to rage to terror as the charges piled up. Neighbors hugged, laughed, cried. Dr. Martinez asked Agent Haven, "How long will she serve?" 15 to 25 years. Likely longer with racketeering. Every stolen dollar recovered through insurance and asset seizures. HOA fees dropped. Property values soared. Kids drew chalk pictures of the mean lady getting arrested. I was elected treasurer. Transparency became the rule, not the exception. 6 months later, Cordelia's house is a community garden. The plaque reads, "In memory of trust restored." The neighborhood healed monthly potlucks, independent audits, retired FBI as security consultant. I even got a letter from Cordelia in prison. "You did what someone should have done years ago." Held me accountable. And yeah, I felt a little sorry for her, but not enough to forget what she did. My biggest takeaway: people like Cordelia think authority is a shield, but it's really a test. Sooner or later, you mess with the wrong person. One who knows the law, one who documents everything, and your empire collapses in front of everyone you tried to control. Justice doesn't always wear a badge. Sometimes, it's just a guy in pajamas holding a coffee cup. Now here's where I hand it off to you. What's the line between justice and vengeance in a neighborhood like this? Does fighting back make you a hero, or just another villain with a better playbook? Drop your thoughts, your stories, your HOA nightmares in the comments below. And if you ever find yourself staring down a suburban dictator, document everything. Trust your gut, and never, ever underestimate the power of a well-timed legal document. Because karma, sometimes it needs a little push.
Get that vehicle out of my driveway this instant!
Yeah!
I'm not going anywhere until my lawyer arrives.
No, ma'am, you need to lower your voice.